You're likely just easing into that peaceful part of your afternoon, perhaps with your hands wrapped around a warm mug or flipping through a favorite book, when that quiet, familiar prickling begins again in your toes. Like a soft whisper under the skin that slowly grows into something you can't ignore. You stretch your legs out a bit or press your feet flat against the floor, thinking it'll fade in a moment, but the tingle often stays put, sometimes deepening into that steady, warm throb that makes it tough to stay relaxed no matter how you adjust your position. It's one of those sensations that seems to drop by more often lately, and it's natural to suppose it's simply what happens as the years go by, or a permanent trace from diabetes or some past nerve issue the doctors called irreversible. But what if a significant part of why it keeps returning with more force isn't something locked in place forever? What if much of that everyday irritation is being quietly fed and made more noticeable by the small routine things you do from the time you rise until you settle down? Things so much a part of your daily flow that they almost disappear into the background. For more than 20 years, I've devoted my work to understanding nerve health and sitting with older adults who live with neuropathy each and every day. I've heard so many people open up about the same hard truths, how the burning across the soles of their feet turns standing long enough to stir a pot or walk to the mailbox into something that leaves them drained and sore, how numb fingers make simple tasks like buttoning a coat or holding a grandchild's hand feel awkward and frustrating, how those sudden sharp zaps in the legs or feet can wake you up in the middle of the night or stop you short during a short stroll around the yard. It's deeply tiring to carry discomfort that won't let up, especially after trying so many things the doctors suggested. But through all those conversations and all the careful research, one vital truth has become very clear to me, and it's supported by solid studies from places like Harvard Medical School, the Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins. Most of what people are told about neuropathy leaves out a crucial part of the picture. Your nerves aren't fixed or completely helpless against time or illness. They're alive and sensitive. They respond to the conditions around them and the little things you do over and over. The everyday habits that feel so normal can either quietly help keep your nerves calmer and more comfortable, or, without you meaning to, slowly add small stresses that build up and make symptoms feel stronger and harder to ignore as time goes on. Let's talk this through together today in a gentle, easy way, like we're just sitting here chatting with no rush at all. In the time we have, I'll go over 7 common habits that could very well be playing a role in making your neuropathy feel worse right now. More than that, I'll explain the simple, practical changes you can start making to calm those nerves, get better blood flow to them, and ease the pain so your days feel a little softer and your nights more restful. Everything here comes from real studies done at some of the best medical centers, so you can feel sure these ideas have been looked at carefully and have helped many other people just like you. If it's okay with you, before we go any deeper, would you type just your age in the comments? It helps me picture who I'm talking to and keeps what I say feeling right for where you are right now. By the time we're finished, you'll have a much clearer understanding of why 2 people can have the exact same neuropathy diagnosis, but live with it so differently. One feeling it get heavier year after year, while the other finds ways to steady things and even see some real relief. You'll see exactly how you can step into that second group, the one that experiences genuine forward movement instead of just bracing for more decline. So many folks come to accept that neuropathy is simply inevitable once it starts, that it's destined to keep getting worse with age, no matter what they do. But the big truth that often goes unsaid is this: your nerves are always listening. They're tuned in to what's happening inside your body and the patterns you follow day after day. Those repeated choices, even the innocent ones, can either provide steady, gentle support that helps nerves stay as comfortable as possible, or quietly work against them in ways that add up over time. I really hope you'll stay with me, because near the end I'll talk about one habit that's incredibly common for almost everyone over 60. Something people do all the time without ever connecting it to their nerve pain. When we're done, you'll have a straightforward, complete way to start taking better care of your nerves, beginning right now. So let's ease into understanding what's actually happening in your body as the years go by. Things that don't always get explained in plain language. When you reach your 60s and 70s, your body goes through 4 important changes that affect neuropathy directly. Picture your nerves as very thin, delicate wires carrying electrical messages all through your body. For those messages to travel smoothly and clearly, the wires need a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered right to them. Your blood vessels are the pathways that bring those essentials, but as time passes, the arteries often lose some of their stretch. They don't open up as easily, so circulation naturally slows a little, and the nerves get less of what they need to stay healthy and calm. Researchers at Johns Hopkins followed more than 1,200 adults for 5 full years and found something very telling. People whose blood flowed more slowly in the lower legs were 52% more likely to see their foot numbness and burning get noticeably worse. That number really shows how closely nerve symptoms are connected to good circulation, and why even small things that help blood move better can bring relief that you feel in your feet and legs every day. Even if you make sure to get out for a walk each day, which is wonderful for your heart, your mood, your energy, and so many other things. The real challenge for a lot of us is all the hours spent sitting still afterward. Sitting to watch your shows, driving to appointments or to see the grandkids, reading the paper, or doing a puzzle at the table can all press on nerves and slow circulation without you noticing. The nerves stay squeezed in one position too long, and fresh blood doesn't reach them as well. The easiest way to help is to stand up every 30 to 45 minutes. When you stand, circle your ankles slowly a few times each way, gently pump your calves by rising onto your toes and lowering back down, or take a slow 2-minute walk around your house. Those short bursts open the flow again, take the pressure off, and give your nerves a quick rest. If you've ever gotten up after sitting a long time and felt your feet full of buzzing pins and needles, or completely numb until you shook them, type "wake up" in the comments. I bet a lot of you know that feeling well, and it's exactly why these little moments of movement matter so much. Here's another thing that surprises most people, even those who don't have diabetes. It's not only blood sugar that's always high that damages nerves over time, the frequent quick rises and then drops do almost as much harm. When you eat something with a lot of carbs or sugar, like a big plate of pasta, a pastry, or even fruit by itself, the glucose in your blood shoots up fast. That fast rise causes swelling around the nerves and creates oxidative stress, which is like tiny bursts of irritation happening deep inside the cells. Then, a couple hours later, when the sugar level drops sharply, the nerves suddenly don't have enough energy, and that makes pain signals get louder. When this up and down pattern happens meal after meal, day after day, it tires the nerves out more and more, and the neuropathy symptoms slowly get stronger. More burning, more tingling, more sharpness. Harvard Medical School researchers looked into this carefully and found that when older adults worked on keeping their blood sugar steadier, their nerve irritation and burning sensations dropped by 35% in only 8 weeks. That's a real, meaningful improvement, and it comes mostly from simple changes in how you combine foods and how much you eat at once. To make it work, try always pairing any carbohydrate food with some protein or healthy fat. For example, spread peanut butter on your apple slices instead of eating the apple plain, have eggs with your toast in the morning, or mix some chicken or beans into your rice dish. Eating smaller meals more often throughout the day instead of 1 or 2 large ones helps too. And it's wise to avoid big portions of refined carbs by themselves, like a big bowl of sugary cereal, white bread with nothing substantial on it, or soda and cookies together. When your blood sugar holds more even, the nerves skip those swelling moments and energy crashes, so the burning quiets down, the tingling softens, and you simply feel more comfortable whether you're up moving around or sitting quietly. Something as simple as what you wear on your feet at home can make a surprisingly big difference too. A lot of us love going barefoot or slipping into those soft, flat house slippers because it feels so freeing after a day in regular shoes. But when your nerves are already sensitive, that lack of good support can quietly add to the trouble. Without a firm base under your foot, every step compresses the nerves unevenly. Shock from hard floors isn't absorbed well, and pressure builds on tender spots. The connective tissue that wraps around the nerves in your feet and ankles gets pulled and strained with every movement, which tends to make the burning feel hotter, the numbness go deeper, and the pain at night more intense when your body is trying to rest. The Mayo Clinic ran a study in 2022 that put numbers to this. Seniors who switched to wearing supportive shoes or well-structured slippers indoors, even just for moving around the house, saw their foot pain decrease by 43% after only 6 weeks. That's a big improvement from one small change you do all day long at home. When you're choosing something for indoors, look for a pair with a solid, firm sole that holds your arch up properly, nice soft cushioning under the heel and forefoot to soften each step, and a wide enough toe area so your toes can spread out naturally without being squeezed or rubbed. You don't need heavy outdoor shoes inside. Just having something well made and supportive for home use can protect those nerves and make every step across your floors feel easier and less painful. Hydration is another thing that's so simple, but easy to let slide as the years go by. Our sense of thirst gets quieter with age, so mild dehydration often creeps in without us feeling particularly thirsty or dry. Yet even that steady low level of fluid shortage affects nerves directly because water is essential for keeping electrical signals moving smoothly along the nerve pathways, delivering nutrients to the cells, and flushing out waste that can irritate tissues if it builds up. When fluids dip even a little, nerve impulses can become jumpy or uneven, which shows up as more frequent tingling, hotter or more persistent burning, sudden cramps in the calves or feet, or that restless, fidgety feeling in your legs that makes it hard to sit still or lie down comfortably. The fix is straightforward and doesn't take any special effort. Get into the habit of sipping water regularly throughout the day instead of waiting for thirst or drinking a big glass all at once. Keep a glass or bottle nearby and take small drinks every hour or so. Maybe tie it to things like after meals or during commercial breaks on TV. A good way to know you're on track is to check your urine color. Aim for it to be pale yellow most of the time. If it's darker, that's your body's gentle way of saying drink a bit more. For some folks, especially on warmer days or after any light activity, adding electrolytes from a simple powder or low-sugar drink can help the water stay in your system better and support nerve function more effectively. But please check with your doctor first to make sure it's okay with your other health needs. Pain medications can be a real help when the discomfort flares up. They take the sharp edge off so you can get through cooking a meal, talking with family on the phone, or just resting without being overwhelmed. But if you lean on them as your only tool, it can sometimes mean missing chances for improvement that lasts longer. Some medicines can gradually reduce blood flow to the nerves over time, while others mainly block the pain signals without touching the irritation underneath. The better approach is to see medication as one useful piece in a bigger picture. The stronger foundation comes from habits that improve circulation, provide steady nutrition, keep you well hydrated, and create a calmer setting for your nerves. When those supports are solid, medications often work better, and many people find they need less of them as time goes on because the nerves themselves are less irritated. Sleep should be the body's main time for repair, including for nerves. But the way many of us position ourselves at night can keep nerves under pressure for hours without anyone realizing. If your legs stay curled up tightly, if heavy blankets push your feet into a pointed position, or if joints bend in ways that pinch tissues, you can wake with numbness that's worse, burning that's more noticeable, and stiffness that makes getting out of bed feel slow and painful. Little changes can help a lot. Place a pillow under your knees when lying on your back, or between them if you're on your side to keep alignment gentle. Make sure your feet stay in a neutral position where toes aren't forced down or up, and choose lighter bedding so nothing heavy presses on your legs or feet. Those small nighttime tweaks let nerves rest more fully overnight, so you often wake up feeling looser, with less morning flare-up, and more ready to move through the day. Chronic stress is another piece that quietly makes nerve issues feel bigger. When worry or tension lingers, cortisol stays higher, blood vessels tighten a little, and less blood reaches your hands and feet. Your nervous system also gets more sensitive, so even mild nerve signals can register as sharper pain. The good news is that gentle ways to calm things can make a real difference. When you feel tension building, take a few slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold briefly, then exhale longer through your mouth. Do some light stretches while seated, like rolling your shoulders or gently reaching your arms overhead. Spend a quiet minute noticing your surroundings, the feel of the chair, the light in the room, or a pleasant memory, or just reflect on a few things you're grateful for. Those calm moments tell your body it's safe, lower cortisol, open circulation again, and soften how intensely pain feels. People who make a habit of these little resets often notice far fewer sudden pain spikes and less severity when they do happen. Putting it all together, you can see that neuropathy rarely gets worse from just one thing going wrong. It's the steady buildup of several common daily patterns: sitting for long stretches, blood sugar swinging up and down, going without proper foot support at home, not drinking enough water consistently, depending too much on medication alone, sleeping in positions that press on nerves and carrying ongoing stress, that tips the balance toward more discomfort. But the hopeful side is just as true. When you gently adjust even some of those patterns in a positive direction and keep at it, you give your nerves the consistent care they need to become steadier and less reactive. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 68 when she first came to see me, For years, she'd had burning feet that made every step feel like walking on hot coals, numb toes that made her unsteady on her feet, and nights where pain kept her awake so she woke up exhausted and short-tempered. When she sat down in my office, her eyes were tired, her hands were clasped tightly, and she said in a quiet voice full of frustration, "I've tried everything the doctors told me. Different pills, cutting out sweets, special socks, even soaking my feet every night. Nothing touches this burning for long. It's like my nerves have turned against me, and I'm just so tired of fighting it every day." We went over her daily routines together, what she ate and when, how long she sat watching her shows, what she wore around the house, how much water she drank, how she slept, how she handled the worry that came with the pain. Then we started the Nervo protocol slowly, one piece at a time so it didn't feel overwhelming. We focused on getting up regularly to move and keep circulation going, sipping water throughout the day, balancing meals to avoid sugar spikes, switching to supportive slippers even just indoors, using pillows to keep her legs comfortable at night, and adding a few minutes of slow breathing when she felt tense or overwhelmed. 4 weeks later, when she came back, I could see the change before she even spoke. Her face looked brighter, her steps were lighter. She told me the burning had eased by about 60%. It wasn't gone, but it felt like the fire had been turned way down to a gentle warmth instead of a blaze. She was sleeping through the night without waking in pain, and the morning stiffness that used to slow her down had mostly faded. What touched me most was the change in her spirit. She smiled and said, "For the first time in ages, I feel like there's hope. I don't dread going to bed anymore because I know the burning won't keep me up. In the morning, I actually want to get up and do things, make my tea, call my daughter, maybe sit in the garden. I don't feel like my body is betraying me anymore." That move from feeling trapped and discouraged to hopeful and capable again is something I see again and again when people give their nerves this kind of steady, thoughtful support. Robert's story was similar in its own way. At 72, he was a retired man who loved staying active, working in the yard, walking the neighborhood, visiting family. But neuropathy had brought constant tingling in his hands that made holding tools tricky, and sharp electric shocks in his feet that made every step painful. He was taking pain medication every day, but it wasn't enough. When he sat down with me, he looked down at his hands and said quietly, "I used to love getting out and doing things, but now every step feels like needles. I'm afraid one day soon I won't be able to walk without holding on to something. I miss just going out without thinking about every move." We started the Nervo protocol with extra attention to short movement breaks during his day, solid hydration, proper foot support, and sleep adjustments. After 6 weeks, his pain had dropped from a 7 out of 10 to a 3. He could walk longer distances comfortably, his balance felt more secure, and he regained the freedom to handle daily tasks without constant worry. He even started taking short strolls with his family again, something he'd given up because it hurt too much. He told me later, "I didn't think I'd get this much back. It's like parts of my old life are returning." Stories like his remind me how powerfully daily habits can shift the course of neuropathy symptoms. Margaret and Robert both show that neuropathy can respond to changes in daily habits. Age and health conditions play a role, but the way you support your nerves every day has a powerful influence on whether symptoms stay severe or start to ease. Now let's go through the precise protocol I guide patients with. It's called Nervo, and each letter highlights one essential way to help nerves. N stands for nutrition and blood sugar stabilization. Focus on pairing any carbs with protein or healthy fats to slow sugar absorption. Think adding nuts to fruit, cheese to crackers, or eggs to toast. Eat smaller, more frequent meals, and limit big loads of refined carbs alone. That Harvard study found this approach cut nerve irritation and burning by 35% in 8 weeks for older adults. Start with 1 meal a day and add that pairing, then build from there. You'll often notice steadier energy and less post-meal flare as your nerves feel less irritated. E is for eliminating nerve stressors. Cut out habits that compress or irritate, like thin slippers or barefoot walking at home. Switch to supportive options with firm soles, cushioned insoles, and wide toe areas. The Mayo Clinic data showed 43% less foot pain in 6 weeks from that change alone. Also watch for prolonged sitting or tight sleep positions, breaking them up with movement or pillows to keep things gentle. R means restorative sleep positioning. Use pillows to support joints comfortably, keep feet neutral rather than pointed, and lighten heavy blankets. Proper positioning reduced morning numbness by 38% in studies with people over 60. Try setting up your bed this way one night and see how much lighter your feet feel when you wake. Fay covers vascular health and hydration. Stand and move every 30 to 45 minutes, ankle rolls, calf pumps, short walks, to boost circulation. Drink water consistently so urine stays pale yellow, and consider electrolytes if your doctor approves. Hydration keeps nerve signals smooth and helps clear irritation. O is for overall stress management and nervous system calm. Chronic stress heightens pain sensitivity and tightens circulation. Practice gentle deep breathing, light stretching, mindfulness, or quiet reflection daily. Patients doing this saw 30 to 50% fewer pain flares. Pick one easy practice, like a few minutes of slow breathing each morning, and build from there as it feels natural. When you bring these 6 elements together consistently, even starting small, nerves get the full spectrum support they need. Real progress often builds from combining them over time. People following Nervo typically notice these shifts. In week 1, tingling softens a touch, hydration feels better, and morning stiffness lightens. Week 2 brings calmer burning, easier sleep, and steadier energy. By weeks 3 and 4, pain often drops 30 to 60%. Feet and hands warm up with improved flow and movement feels freer. After a month and onward, nerves stay calmer longer, medication needs sometimes decrease, balance strengthens, and daily life gains more comfort and joy. This is meaningful, trackable change, not just a faint hope when habits stay steady. A few key precautions to hold close. This isn't presented as a cure for neuropathy or any underlying issue. Never adjust or stop prescribed medications without your doctor's clear permission. If you have kidney concerns, heart problems, unstable diabetes, or balance risks, speak with your physician before ramping up movement, fluids, or diet shifts. Start gradually, add water slowly, begin with brief activity breaks, adjust sleep one step at a time. Gentle consistency lets your body adapt safely while nerves benefit. Here's my invitation to you. Select one single piece from Nervo, perhaps better hydration, supportive home footwear, regular gentle movement, steadier meals, improved sleep posture, or daily calm breathing, and commit to it faithfully for the next 30 days. Then return here and share in the comments what shifted for you. Less tingling, deeper rest, steadier steps, anything at all. Your experiences inspire me and others. Your nerves have carried you faithfully through so many seasons of life. With small, kind habits repeated daily, you can give them the care that makes a real difference in how they serve you now. I'm thankful we could spend this time together, and I hope these words stay close to you, bringing a little more ease and encouragement as you move through your days. Take gentle care of yourself. You truly deserve it.